Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Tara. If you're searching infertility, you might be new to my channel. I have never posted anything. My hope when I started my channel was to be a voice for infertility, but I have struggled so hard making this video. I don't know why. I'm just gonna try not to cry. My husband and I tried to have a baby for 8 years. We were married for 10 at the time. Tried to have a baby for 8 years and we went through everything. I didn't really know how to make this video. I didn't even know where to start. So I just thought that I would just start by telling our process. So we were married for 2 years when we started or stopped preventing. We were like, if it happens, it happens, whatever. Our friends were starting to have kids and it's like, okay, maybe it's time. So we stopped preventing. We tried for, like a year, 2 years. And then I was like, something's not right. I'm just going to talk to my OB at my next, yearly and see what the deal is, why we're having trouble. And they don't even consider it infertility until you've been trying for like a year. So my doctors are like, okay, well, you've been trying for a year, whatever. I think it was like, I don't even know, year and a half. We'll just try some Clomid. And she's just a regular OBGYN, so it wasn't like, she specialized in anything. We'll try Clomid, and she put me on like 3 rounds of Clomid. Nothing. All I did was like feel horrible. So she's like, that's all I can do for you. You can go see a specialist if you want. So I had a friend, they saw a doctor who was like an hour and a half away from me. So I'm like, okay, I'll go see him. He has really good reviews and just really good doctors. So we went and saw him, and the initial question is like, why? Like, why can I not have a baby? Why? And at that point it was just like, and I took some notes because I knew this was gonna happen and I wouldn't be able to focus. But I think there's kind of stages to this, and whether, I don't want to offend anyone, but like when I was in it, like, year 5, 6, 7, it was like, I'd hear people say, oh, we had such a hard time. It took us like a year. And I'm like, not that long. So anyways, I feel like there's kind of stages to infertility. And if you're going through it and you've only been in it for like a year, if you've only been in it for a short time, I am not taking anything away from you. And I don't want to like downplay your feelings, but there are stages. And at first, you're just like, why can't I have a baby? I don't know where my notes went. Hang on. Okay, so sorry, I'm back and I've collected myself. So anyways, as I was saying, I feel like there are stages to infertility, and at first you're just like, okay, why can't I have a baby? I need answers. So you are obsessed with it. And like I said, we stopped preventing those 2 years, year and a half. It's like, you didn't really talk about it. You were just like happy for those friends that were getting pregnant, whatever. And then you get to the point, you wanted it so bad. Like those first couple years, you're like, okay, you're like obsessed with baby stuff. Like I remember just searching baby stuff, watching vlogs of people like having babies, people in that stage of life. And then you start to think, maybe this won't happen for me. And you tell people close to you that, and they're like, oh, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna go over those things that people say to you, but it'll happen, just wait, it'll happen. And you think, but you don't say out loud. And I, even to Brian, I didn't say, and I said, you know, to myself, like, maybe it won't. Oh my gosh. Okay. Maybe it won't happen. And you start to like think that, and you start to convince yourself like, okay, I'm gonna be okay with this. And I'm talking like, these are the stages that I'm talking about, like, you know, like, you know, you're going through all the stuff, the Clomid, all that stuff, and then it's like you want it so bad, and you think it might happen, and then you get to the stage where maybe it won't happen, and you start to pretend like it's okay, like you're okay with it. And oh my gosh. Okay, so you start to pretend that you're okay with it, and you start to plan your life like, okay, I'm not gonna have kids, and I'm gonna be okay with it, because guess what, I don't have kids, so I can go on vacations, I can buy whatever I want, I can not be tied down by kids. And you start to tell yourself these things that it's gonna be okay, and you're okay with it, and really you're not. And so then, I'm sorry, I keep looking at my notes because I can't like get past stuff. But so, you know, you don't allow yourself to look at baby things anymore. You don't go to that section in the store. Like, I would avoid it at all costs, because it's little things like that that would just shoot me over the edge, especially, you know, in when I started thinking these things, like avoid the baby section, don't even look at that stuff. If you had a friend that was gonna have a baby, you got them a gift card because you didn't want to go over there. And then you start avoiding the baby showers altogether. And then you don't even go to your family's kids' birthday parties. I'm sorry, this is just harder than I thought it was gonna be. And luckily I have okay, sorry, gosh, this is gonna be a long one. So anyways, luckily I have a great, amazing family who tried to understand the best they could. I have the most beautiful cousin in the whole earth who has 4 beautiful babies, never had an issue getting pregnant, and I don't know why, but I just could not go to her kids' birthdays. I just couldn't be there because all my family had kids. It was just torture, and I can't explain it. Like, that seems so horrible. It makes me sound horrible, but I just couldn't do it. So finally I was just like, I just have to be honest with her. I just have to be honest. And I just told her, I said, I cannot come anymore, and I hope you can understand. And these are things like I regret now, but at the time you can't even think about it. Like, anyways, okay, so she was amazing, and you know, she prayed for me so much, and I love her so much. But anyways, these are things that I just, you know, and then working in the emergency room, you know, just seeing people who just didn't cherish their kids, and it's just like, you are taking them for granted, you know. And you have, this is, you know, the minority. It's like people cherish their kids, but you saw every now and then, and this one thing comes to mind. And these are things that just push you over the edge, the little tiny things that nobody thinks about. And if you're going through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Little tiny things throughout the day, you're just like, really, really, and this one thing comes to mind. I was in the ER and I had this patient, and you know, in the evenings or whatever, they would come to the ER and we'd have to run the pregnant people up to OB. And I put this woman in a wheelchair and I was gonna run her upstairs, and I always just had this list of questions. Like, obviously you want to be assessing your patient as you're going upstairs, make sure they're not like in labor, and obviously this lady wasn't, so she's probably been there, I don't know. Anyways, moving on. I just asked her, I said, and this was always what I asked to kind of get the conversation going. I said, is this your first baby? And I always had asked that. And she said, as I'm pushing her down the hall, she said, unfortunately not. And that will stick in my mind forever. And I just wanted to strangle her. Like, how can you say that? Like, there's people that want babies so bad and you are regretting this baby. And this baby did nothing to deserve a mother like you. And whether it was just a fluke statement or if she's a horrible mother, like I think she probably still is, but just little things like that. And people, you know, pregnant people complaining about their pregnancy or whatever, whatever. I mean, I've been there, and now that I have a child, and I totally understand that side of it, but it's just little things like that that get to you. And I encourage you to find some way to deal with it. Like, I didn't choose the right things to do to deal with this. When I was going through it, I started drinking too much, and probably, I don't know, probably didn't deal with it the way I should. But anyways, then you know, you kind of start to get, and a lot of people don't even go through these other stages. I don't think if you're going through it for a year or 2, 3, you know, and I kind of was just complacent. I am a Christian, and I just kept telling God, like, I feel bad getting these procedures done, doing these things, because your timing is perfect. So if I'm doing these things, am I doing it out of your will? Like, am I making it happen when you don't, you know? And ultimately it's his will anyways, but I just fought with that. Like, as a Christian, I just fought, like, is this what God wants me to do? And I that's probably why it took me so long. Like, I could have had IVF on year 2, you know, but it's just every single procedure I just fought before I even had it done. So back to the process for Brian and I. We tried the Clomid, didn't work. So, you know, I just kind of put things off. Like, I then had an HSG. That was fine. Then I went, that was through my regular OBGYN. Okay, sorry, my camera died. But anyways, so I had the HSG, that was through my regular OBGYN, and then I started to see the infertility doctor. And you know, when you show up there, it's like, you want answers. And it's like, you go in saying, why can't I have this baby? And they're running all these tests, and you know, hopefully there's an answer for you. I feel for people that don't ever get an answer, like, why is this happening to me? Why? And you know, he's like, we can either just start trying to get you pregnant, or we can try to figure out why. And to this day, I kind of regret that. I was just so obsessed with the why, and I ended up having a exploratory lab, which just showed, like, I don't know, mild to moderate endometriosis, which I mean, they burned them, whatever. Okay, let's see if this works. So then you spend another, you know, 3 to 6 months trying after that, and spending $9,000 on that surgery when I could, you know, it's just a constant fight in your head. Like, what do I do? What's the best decision? So after that, we, you know, we tried for a while. Then it's like, okay, it's not working. So now we're going to do IUI, next step. So, and everything was fine with Brian. Nothing was coming back with me besides the endometriosis. And like I said, it was so mild. Like, I don't know. So, we had an IUI, which was so hard. Like I said, the doctor was an hour and a half away, and, I'm sure I could have arranged, like, when you're in the moment, you're like, whatever, I don't know. But I could have arranged to like do my own shots. Like, I'm a nurse, I have friends, whatever. But I drove up there I'm like, I want this to be perfect. I want it to work. So I'm going into the doctor, doing exactly what they say, blah, 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 taking all the meds. So I went up there, you know, hour and a half drive to get my progesterone shots, you know, day after day. And then also it's hard because, I can't remember if I was on nights or days at that time. But, you know, as a nurse, you can't, okay, you're ovulating, drop everything and no, you have to find somebody to cover your shift. You have to, and then you feel guilty because you're letting your team down, blah, blah, blah. And then Brian was on nights. He alternated back and forth. So it was like, he can't just drop everything and go. So, we ended up doing what did we do? I don't even remember. They froze it or something. I don't even know. Anyways, it was just kind of a nightmare, honestly. And so we did 2 of those. They didn't work. So then it's like, okay, do we do another one? Those were $900 a pop. I don't even know if that was counting the meds. I don't remember. And so then, you know, the next step is IVF. So it's like, that was a huge thing. And that's why I go back and forth about, like, you know, is that, I don't know. I don't know. Was it the right thing to do? Financially, it's huge. It's just a huge decision. And if you've made the decision, go for it. Like, I am not questioning anybody. It's what's right for you. But, you know, Brian and I, we fought over this, and it was hard, like really hard, because I was like, you know, I'd have those days where I'm like, let's do it. Like, we'll sell everything we have. I'll live in a shack. I don't even care. Let's just do it. And he was like, well, that's such a huge, like, do you pay $20,000 for nothing? Like, you know, and if it didn't work, it's devastating. And I feel for you if you've done that. And I just, and then they're like trying to sell you this plan where, you know, you can have 3 of them for this price. And, you know, if the first one works, you don't get your money back. But, you know, it's just like, this seems wrong. It seems wrong for them to do that. I don't know. Anyway, so, we just went back and forth, and Brian's like, I just can't financially do that. And so, okay. So he just couldn't financially commit to that. So then, you know, at that point I had been in the ER I was in for 6 years. And my whole, I don't know. I could just see myself changing, like, for the worse. Like, I was so bitter. I was so rude. I was so sarcastic all the time, which I still am. But, and that's not a bad thing, but I was just using that as just to be awful to people and bitter. And so then that we were in Colorado at that time. So Brian and I just needed to change. I had to get out of there. I had to get around people that didn't know me, that didn't know that I didn't have kids, that didn't know my situation, weren't asking me about it. I just needed to escape. So that's when we ended up moving to Oklahoma. And it was good. It was so good. It was a fresh start. We got into a really good church. And So anyways, and our church here is amazing, and they really push you know, fostering adoption. They're in the state of Oklahoma. It's just such a crisis, like all kids. All the kids that are in foster care, it's like, I don't know, over 10,000, 11,000 at this point. I don't know. It's a really huge crisis. So anyways, we started to look into that, and I feel like that's the next stage. You know, you look for other ways to have children, and I am not downplaying Isabella at all. She was my saving grace through most of this. Her and my nephew were just, and my nieces, and just they got me through a lot. So if I was having a bad day, I would go see my nieces, go spend a couple hours with them, and everything seemed okay. But you know, then we moved to Oklahoma, back on track, and got into this wonderful church, and we were starting to look into foster care. And when I moved to Oklahoma, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can get financially prepared to do IVF. So that was my goal coming here. Like, maybe we could, you know, save money, use our house fund for that. And so anyways, went to this church, and we were starting to look into that. You know, we did all the paperwork. Brandon had to do some things, and it was almost finalized. And then that was in January of 2017. And then, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna just give this one last go. Like, what have I not done? Like, I prayed to God. There's millions of people praying for me, hundreds of people, maybe more realistic, but what have I not done? And I just kept asking myself, I don't know. And I just kept telling God, like, what have I not done? And I was trying to, you know, get closer to him and read my Bible and, you know, do all the right things. And finally, it kind of, I don't know, I was listening to like a podcast or something. I don't even remember where it came from, but it was, okay, so have you asked him specifically what you want? And my answer was yes. And then it was a woman, I don't even remember, gosh, I wish I could remember, but she said, have you and your spouse, you know, prayed together? Have you been in prayer together? And no, we hadn't. We had never sat down together and prayed about it. So, you know, I took Brian aside and we sat down and, you know, we prayed about it. And it was like, God, please just give us a baby. Like, exactly what we wanted. Just not, you know, I know that we need to pray for his will, but it was like, just please give us a baby, please. And that was, I think, the next day after Christmas, or a couple days. It was around Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. And in January we were pregnant. And I don't know, you know, it's a miracle, like a miracle straight from God. That's all I can say. And after 8 years, nothing, never been pregnant, nothing's wrong, you know. And then just suddenly, you know, after doing all of that stuff, and that was our story. We got pregnant. And so anyways, that's kind of where my story ends. because this is why I've struggled making this video, because I feel like now that I've had a baby, and we had Maverick September 8th, 2017, he is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I feel it was just so hard making this, because I feel that now that I have a child, I'm out of the club, you know. And I don't know, I used to get bitter at people that were, you know, that went through it and then had a baby. And how could I have thought that? I don't know. You know, if you're going through it and you do, I mean, you can only feel what you can feel. No one can tell you how you can feel. You just have to find a way to cope with it. And that's why I've struggled with this video, because I'm like, I can't talk to people that can't have a baby. I have a baby. And I don't know, I just felt like I'm out of the club and I can't talk to people. So I hope that you can you know, listen to my story. And it's all been really negative up until now, but I just hope that you can find a way to cope. And I encourage you to go to God and get closer to God. And I pray for you. I pray, and you know, since I've started my channel, I've had some people come out of the woodworks that I didn't know were struggling, and I pray for them. And my heart hurts for them, and I just pray for their baby, whether it be, you know, adoption or foster. I do encourage you to look into that. If that's not an option and that's not what you want, no one will judge you. It's just, and that's not off the table for Brian and I just, I actually really have on my heart to maybe do that someday. But anyways, even if you don't know me and you need someone to talk to, gosh, I gotta pull it together. You don't want to talk to some crazy crying person. And normally I don't act like this, so anyways, so if you need someone to talk to, if you have questions, or if you're just at your wit's end and you don't know what to do and you want to talk to somebody who's been there, I encourage you to I am on Instagram and Facebook if you want to message me, or DM me on Instagram. I would love to talk to you, or be there for you, or just if you need to, you know, just say what you've been feeling, or if you have some sort of thought that no one else will understand unless you've been in the situation, you need to just get things out, just message me. And I don't know what I'll say. I don't know, but I hope that I can be there for you. And I know this has just been kind of a downer video, but find something you enjoy. I honestly found YouTube, like, it was, I've said this before on my channel, but it was a way for me to get out of my head, like, just stop thinking about things for, you know, 15 minutes and kind of regroup and move on, you know. So find something you enjoy, find something that makes you happy and you know, helps you to get past it for the moment. And also find somebody to talk to. There are so many women going through this, and I don't know why it's not talked about. I felt this when I was going through it, like, you just felt like you couldn't talk about it, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because people don't understand, like, unless you've been there, you don't understand. So find somebody that's in that situation. There's so many resources, like I found on Instagram and Facebook, and you know, just Google something. Maybe there's somebody right next door who you can have coffee with and talk about it every week, or, you know, just say what you're feeling. And, you know, sometimes there's some awful feelings, and if you told a normal person that had never been through it how you were feeling, they would think you were just awful. So find somebody to talk to about it. Please comment below If you watch this video and if you got anything from it, I don't mean to offend anyone by anything I've said. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own story, and everyone has their own feelings, and no one can tell you how to feel. Whether you've been going, you know, you're trying for 2 months and still can't, and you're, you know, you're just feeling hopeless. Just, it's okay. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna get through it. Things to not say to people who are trying to have a baby. So some crazy things that people say to you, like in these first couple stages, is like, you know, in the first one, it's like, when are you gonna have kids? And you're like, oh, I've been trying for 1.5 years, thanks. Nothing's happening. You know, like, how do you answer that? Oh, you know, we're trying. Or you don't even want to say that, like, oh, we're, you know, it's in the plans. I don't know. And eventually people stop asking. That's the funny part. Like, okay, well, maybe something's wrong there. We were actually asked that on our wedding day, which didn't seem like a big deal until 8 years later. And my husband's older. Not old, but like older. So, you know, people would make comments like, you better get on it. He's getting older. He's not getting any younger. Just things like that. It's like, really? You know, and especially like, it's been 3 years, so yeah. And then there's, it will happen, which is kind of comforting in the first couple of years, but you're like, or maybe a year. And then after that, it's like, you don't know that. Do you have a crystal ball? How would you know that? Stop saying that. And then there's, stop worrying about it and it will happen. Even people close to you say that, and it's like, what do you mean stop worrying about it? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it hurts me, so don't tell me to not worry about it. And honestly, like, the best thing you can say to people, if you're watching this and you know somebody that's going through it, don't say things like that. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if there'll ever be a baby in my life. Anyway, it could happen. So the best thing you can say to somebody is, I'm thinking about you. I'm here for you. Don't say dumb things. Like, you know how it happens, don't you? Really? Really? Like, don't say things like that. It's horrible. And just adopt. Like, I understand that that's an option and we can talk about it, but don't say, it's not gonna happen. Just adopt. Not good. Not a good thing to say. And lastly, some may think that this isn't like a big deal. Like, okay, you can't have a baby. There's worse things that could happen. Like, you could have cancer or lose a child or a spouse or, you know, a parent, anything like that, someone close to you. There's worse things that could happen. And yeah, that's true. But at the same time, this is what I'm going through. This is my story. This is what I'm going through currently. You know, still you're going through it. So don't let anyone determine how you can and can't feel. Hard. So anyways, I hope this video helped. Like I said, if you need someone to talk to, if I know you or don't know you, this has taken a long time for me to make this video. And I know it's sad, and I know it I hope it doesn't leave you hopeless. That's not what I want. I have a son now, and I'm in a much better place than I ever was. Is life perfect? No. Are there new challenges? Yes. But it's taken me, it's very hard. It's been very hard to make this video. So please reach out to me if you need to, and find someone to talk to. There is hope. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do any other infertility videos, any ideas you may have, if you have any questions or whatever that I could, that could help someone else. That's kind of my goal here. So let me know if you have any ideas. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this brings some hope. I'm sorry I was such a blubbering mess the whole time. I couldn't help it. And this is one of the reasons that I waited so long to make this video, because I just knew that I would break down. But honestly, it feels so good to talk about it. And so like I said, find me, shoot me your email on here or wherever, or DM me or message me. Also my email is listed below if you want to just email me if you need someone to talk to. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.